All right, I'm hitting it now.
Hmm. Or so you say.
Well, I don't know, man. It's been a long time since we've done a live, so I feel like I'm not practiced. Don't remember how to do things.
Maybe
So
it's
I don't
all
know if
the
it's
booze
I
from
don't know if
last
it's
week.
streaming.
Maybe
Yeah,
that's.
yeah. Hi guys. Hopefully you can hear us and see us and all that jazz.
Yes. But speaking of, clearly no drunk live today, as we've announced. Reason being, well, it was my birthday. For some reason, my boxing birthday, the day after, I felt really bad. The point I basically lost the entire day, and so it did not seem logical to mess with your stomach after your stomach messed with you the day before. So we were like, yeah, that's not good. That's not smart.
No, and we don't know when we're doing that. If we're doing it tomorrow or on the weekend, we're not sure yet.
Yes.
We haven't talked about it.
So we might get a live discussion here. Although I'm happy to report I got my first COVID vaccine on Friday.
Nice.
So either I'll be hungover from one live or side effects
They're
hungover
not.
to get drunk.
They're not that bad, depending on which one you get. Which one are you getting?
No idea.
Okay.
It's super variable, so I have no idea. Could get some or nothing. Mum had massive like achiness, and Dad had a fine for a few hours, and then pretty like, and then for the next day. So it's very very
No,
variable.
but like you're getting Moderna,
I don't know.
Pfizer. Oh, okay.
Did it even tell me? I don't know. I booked. I don't know if it actually told me or not. Uh,
Anyway, guys,
no,
welcome
I don't
back.
know.
Okay.
I'll know when I get
Sam's
it.
Chris was asking when your birthday was. It's on the 7th of June, so
Yes,
a few days ago.
had and happened. And I posted. I don't tend to post stuff in general, let alone about myself. But I posted a picture of me in my newer uniform. They dress whites, I guess. They're not dressed blues. They're just whites. It was a sort of a punt in the dark to see if that costume was actually good enough quality, and I was pleasantly surprised it was, which is great, and I was pretty happy with that. That's after modifications, but before ironing, because I only got it like the day before, like back from the scenes who tweaked it, because get it and then modify it. It's important. But I was pretty happy with
Mhm.
that. I'm just going to be using my Trek shorts because hashtag why not,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I was quite pleased. So yeah,
Look good. So
and that got like 7.8 thousand views on the page with like 500
nice.
likes, which I was very happy with because it's pretty unusual, but it was all DSLR-y and lovely, sexy photo. And I mean, I was fine, but like but did you see the bokeh behind me? Oh, some good out of focus bokeh.
Yeah, I saw everything but you. So
That's how as it should be.
we got some super chats already, so let's get to those real
Excellent.
quick. Ozzy, $5.
Thank you.
All hail the Spirit Commander. Hope you had an awesome birthday on Monday. Federation President Skeleton Hands.
Thank you. I'll be able to show off my
And
presents when we do get drunk. Aha.
yes. And Ozzy, another $5. All hail the Spirit Commander and Super Captain Foley. Request permission to buzz Trekyards.
Yes.
Federation President Skeleton Hands.
Although,
I,
do you miss BG Turin's at the start of the chat and his subsequent comments? The $20 at the start.
I'm getting there. That
Okay.
wasn't at the start. Ozzy did it beforehand for some
Ah.
reason. That I got pictures of it on my phone because I knew that was
Ah.
going to happen if it was too early.
Okie dokie.
And then BJ Turon, $20, which is amazing. So thank you.
Amazing.
Have gone from a big Trek fan to Star Wars fan since JJ Films, Disco and Picard. JJ Star Wars films were terrible, but lots of good content in Mando, Clone Wars, and Rebels. That's because he had nothing to fucking do with it. Lower Decks is the only Star Trek I'm excited about. I'm excited about Strange New Worlds. Let's be fair.
They haven't disappointed us yet. They haven't released anything yet. Literally. So.
Yeah. BJ Turon, another $2. Are you reviewing Star Wars The Bad Batch? We might do it after it's all out. I've only seen 3 episodes so far. I haven't been keeping up with it. Now that Loki's out, we got to watch Loki as well soon. So, but yeah, we might even do a series overview at some point. We'll see.
Yeah,
Season overview.
I have to watch it. It seems somewhat not dull to me. It's just another Clone War. It's 4 clones. It's like
It's pretty good. I've really enjoyed it so far.
Premise just seems uninteresting to me. I mean, I don't know much about it. That's part of why it's just 4 clones that are unique clones. Is that just the Republic Commando game, Like, I'm sure there's big world building stuff, but it's just like, there's not really a premise there that I'm interested in. It's like the racing post JJ film shows. Like, I mean, it looks a bit naff. Better team obviously with the other one, but it wasn't even on my radar personally to watch it. Although Loki, I'm excited for. Well, I'm not sure if I want to watch that in batches, wait for it all to be over, or watch as it comes out, because I really enjoyed watching WandaVision over the course of 3 days. That was really great. I really enjoyed that. But also in little chunks.
So we'll see. Yet to be determined is the answer.
But he also did some he had a long, like, basically some paragraphs. I want to put it in 20. I want to read the rest of his stuff. He did continue from his big super chat. I really enjoyed the episode reviews on this channel. It will be so much fun to watch Lower Decks and the reviews of Trekyards. We'll give Stranger Worlds a shot with reviews. There'll be some fun. World building and design aesthetic is very important to me, along with good character storytelling and some human drama. That's a lot of things. That's a long list there.
That's like everything in storytelling.
Yes.
Good job.
you haven't really narrowed it down there. Right now, Star Wars does better with true to franchise canon. Yes, there's only canon Marvels.
Yes.
Canon Marvels. Yep. I'm enjoying the Bad Batch too. Space Doc on Twitter has been very hard on it, but for me it's enjoyable half hour, unlike Discord Picard. Looking through Clone Wars and Rebels, both seem to get better over the seasons, with dialogue and plot, which the last 2 episodes of Clone Wars Season 7 is a big change from Season 1. Star Trek could have done well with an animated show on the level of Clone Wars and Rebels. Imagine an animated Enterprise instead of live action, less cost and more creative freedom. Yeah, there you go.
Cool. Well. Sean Corpier, $5. Hey guys, missed you this week. Barkley would be a great cameo for this show. Yeah, a lot of people would be great cameos for this show. We were talking about that earlier. That what's her name? The girl that spilled hot chocolate on Picard is supposed to be making an appearance in season 2. So, Fat Produce, $5. I'd like to see less yelling in conventions and conversations, more talking in season 2 of Lower Decks. Yes, less yelling. I understand what you mean. Like with the first episode, it was very punchy and very fast-paced and blah, 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 and a lot of kind of in your face, but it really got toned down by the end of the season. So I can sort of see what you mean, but I don't think there's going to be an issue.
There's yelling and there's energy.
Yeah.
They're under attack by a zombie ship and having to do 3 separate plots in 25 minutes and set up all 4 characters and the bridge crew and all the subplots. So it worked phenomenally, and I'll give it an absolute pass. If you've watched the rest of the season, you know that doesn't factor in. It changes drastically, and then by the end, it's almost a totally different show in a sense. But that's because it actually evolved and had a distinct arc. Whereas other shows where they're learning what they want to be as they go on. Lower Decks, it starts a certain way to show her growth, and everyone's growth. That's very important. But I will start sharing those, Stuart. You just talk to everyone in a general sense. I'll be back in a moment.
Yes. Well, we have a few more super chats, but we'll get to those when Samuel gets back. But anyway, if you do want to contribute and have your comment read, by all means, send a super chat. It's a great way to help us out and let us know that you care about the channel and you want to see us keep making these. Has been a while since we've done a live, so I mean, every little bit helps. If you want to help us on a monthly basis, you can click that join button down beside the subscribe button, and like I said, that helps us on a monthly basis, and you can also get some really cool perks with that. You get like your name highlighted, you get a badge beside your name, shows us how long you've been a member, and you also get to have a rank of captain or commander, captain, admiral, fleet admiral, or Federation president. So if you want to check that out, please do. Another way to help us monthly is head on over to Patreon/Trekyards. You can do that there, or you can also in the link in the description down below, there's information on how to send a PayPal. If you want to send PayPal, it's just to trekyards@hotmail.com, and just let us know that you've done that in the regular chat so that we know to look for it in our email, and then we'll read your comment or question via that as well. So lots of great ways to support the channel. Also, just hitting that like button is very important. We have 63 people here already with 45 likes. I think we can get those likes up to at least 50 at this point, so 5 more likes would be great. And yeah, then just share any of our content around. We do regular Saturday episodes on ships and things. So if you want to share those, that'd be great. That's also a great way to help with the channel. So lots of great ways to show your love for Trekyards. So, and thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully, we found out that Lower Decks season 2 starts August 12th. So of course we'll be reviewing those as they're coming out. We'll be pretty busy because I think after Lower Decks is done, then it's going to go straight into Discovery like they did last year. So we're going to be pretty busy for the last half of the year. So or last quarter, last third of the year. So by all means, we really enjoy you guys joining us for the talks and the discussions, and we like reviewing this kind of thing. So thank you so much for any help you can give us. We just hit our 50 likes, which is awesome, guys. But that doesn't mean we can stop. You have to hit like if you haven't hit it already. If it is not blue, you did not do. So please consider doing that.
Hiya.
All right. He's back.
Yes.
I'm going to continue with the super chats.
Do it.
Not a band account, $2. We need to
Thank
see how Michael Burnham influenced Lower Decks. Well, clearly she went back in time and she was the mother of Mariner's mom. Yeah, so that's clearly what happened.
And that's okay. It's Furious Fawns. You do enough. Thank
you. Sean Corpay, $5. There really should be a Discovery shuttle in Lower Decks. LOL. There should be, even in the background or something. Yes.
I mean, if they made a joke out of it, like if they said, we found this antique floating in space, a Discovery shuttle inside, it's like a steampunk ship, and they're like, the hell is this ship? Like, they can make, like, say, it's over 600 years old, and you're like, oh, that's even more confusing, because then it exists in the mega future and the mega past, and then it becomes just a joke ship, and then you take it all out of seriousness,
Yeah.
That's how I would do that.
Well, I mean, even just having one sitting in a shuttle bay in the background would be kind of funny. People would get it, hopefully. But not a band account, $5.
Thank you.
And since Sonia Gomez spilled the drink, yes, that's it. Thank you. We need to see Captain Sonia Gomez. Maybe she gets nervous again and spills on Admiral Riker. Call back. Yeah, or she just got transferred from ship to ship to ship after that because she kept screwing up. She's still an ensign.
Oh.
But anyway, we got a new member to the channel as well. Not a band account has joined at the rank of captain. So thank you so much. That's a big deal. So thank you so much.
Yeah. And we are in the between times where income drops drastically. We put on a strong face. You guys did roll to the challenge last month, and hopefully this next Drunk Live we'll be able to do well again. But I mean, we're not that far away from the new stuff. We're not that far. I'm certainly using my time to do fan films, etc.
And Furious Fawn says Trekyards, the only way for me to super chat on these live streams is to turn on my VPN to spoof a US IP in order for Google and YouTube to accept my US credit card. Well, if you have to do that, please do so. But yeah, Google gets kind of funny. A lot of times when people are super chatting a lot, like even dollar amounts, the card gets locked. I mean, it is suspicious activity, I guess. But you got to be kind of careful with that. So.
But first of all, though, Stuart, since we're up to date, I want to know what are your thoughts on them? So I can't remember when they announced 2 and 3. I think Mike did it ages ago, but it was just such like a big part of it. What do you think about them having a full confirmed 2 and 3?
I mean, it says a lot about the show and their trust in Mike McMahon, and that's really good. I was really excited to hear that. And then we just got the news that Tawny Newsome is recording already lines for season 3, so they're already in production for season 3. Season 2 isn't even out yet. Season 2 starts August 12th, and that's when we're going to start getting busy. So anyway, I'm excited for season 2, and it was really good news hearing about season 3. We how much we loved Lower Decks on our watch through, and even when we talked with Mike McMahon, who we got to get back on the channel actually. But that was a really good interview, and you can tell his love for Star Trek. So the fact that they've renewed it for another season is great, considering that they haven't even got the viewer numbers for season 2 yet. So I think that's fantastic.
I mean, if you want to go more the technical side of it, it's the lowest cost show, the easiest and quickest to produce, with a cast that already recorded a good chunk in lockdowns, that already had the equipment set up and ready to go. And I'm sure Mike inspires a lot of passion with his cast. So if he says, do you want to record, are you guys happy to just record season 3, give you a 2-week break, boom, are we into season 3? They're like, yeah, man. That vibe result.
You're paying us.
Sure, yeah. But some people still want a break, or some people still want a cleanse, etc. But I can imagine he's a really positive force. And it's like, why wouldn't you commission seasons and seasons of this? I wouldn't be surprised if they get another 2-season order if season 2 goes well. Which it may not, and we don't know numbers. I'm sure they're seeing another metric when the Blu-rays have come out now. That's another strong metric. hopefully they got some good for that, and hopefully they'll be like, some guy will walk up to Imagine to ask Kurtzman and knock knock knock, Mr. Kurtzman, I've got the numbers, okay? Well, okay, well, Discovery Season 1 Blu-ray sold 45 copies. Season 2 sold 45,000. Picard sold 500,000. Lower Decks sold 6.6 million.
Yeah.
I'd like to know. Yeah, I'm joking to the nth degree, but I'm hoping that they had good sales, because I love the physical media releases; those are important to me because get the special features. But why wouldn't they in the pandemic, especially if they can guarantee one of these a year? Especially when things are still simmering down, and in that time they might be able to make 5 seasons, and then have got themselves a big hit. South Park, what's that, like season 19? Simpsons season 35. You can do animated, theoretically, as a money cow, a money pit, for as long as you want. And while I'm sure the show will eventually run out of ideas, because if you're using your own franchise as reference, you can't keep throwing in 1960s novelty hats from Spock. There's a certain point where that will be, has to evolve out of that formula. But yeah.
Well. Sean O'Sullivan, €2. I want Frasier-style Deanna phone-in therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say something there while you were talking. I just can't remember what the hell it was now.
Sorry.
That's okay. It's happened. It'll come back to me at some point. I don't know. We just thought we'd talk about our love for Lower Decks and speculate what we'd like to see in Season 2 and possibly Season 3 today. So... by all means, put in your ideas, your thoughts, things you'd like to see, cameos you'd like to see. I'm sure we could find different ways to incorporate those into some kind of cool, speculative theory. But yeah, this is very interactive, guys. So you guys play a big part. So please let us know your thoughts.
Although, to reference again the other shows, Discovery and Picard, all of which had their storylines radically altered as they were going through, and it makes a clusterfuck of show. Lower Decks is episodic, but also had a season arc. And clearly it was very well planned. And then if they've got 2 more seasons, they've actually, you would assume, have written now a pleasantly 2 more season of arc. At the very least, each season is a full arc. And so this will feel like they can really plan something out. They can say, we're going to lay the seeds in to have a Patrick Stewart cameo in season 4. And they can have this bigger internal universe be built, because they've now got 2 years. And if things have gone well with season 2, you'd think they get more money, more budget, and at the end of the day, for animated series, what more money really means is either more episodes or bigger cast members. Because who's to say they can't get some really famous voice actor from who just wants to be in Star Trek? What was it that Robin Williams wants to be in Star Trek and almost was but couldn't? Or Bobby Goldberg. Some people just want to be in Star Trek, and so if the money's right, this is the one we could get Shatner back in, etc. So give them a bigger budget, do these things we all want to see.
Yeah, my question is, are they going to be airing season 2 in the UK and worldwide at the same time, or is there a delay for that? That I don't know yet.
I have not heard anything about that specifically, and I would love to know.
Because that's where they really dropped the ball the first time, and I think that's why our reviews were kind of lackluster as far as numbers go.
Well, we had fun, but yes.
Oh, we had a lot of fun, but just a lot of the world hadn't seen it yet. So, and that... Yeah, we talked about that at the time. We thought it was ridiculous, but...
Oh, happy to report, I just looked up Lower Deck Season 1 on Blu-ray on Amazon. Only 3 left in stock.
Nice.
It's a good sign.
I haven't got it yet. I still got to get a lot of the new shows on.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sort of politely refusing to get the JJ films on physical until I have to. Even though they're in 4K. Because giving them money feels wrong.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to send me versions of them in 4K, then I can say I don't know how to spend any money on them. That'd be great. Okay, I guess I bought them on the cinema, but
I found... Was it Beyond or Into Darkness in 3D at a Shoppers Drug Mart here for like $10? So it's already in the discount thing, but it was the 3D version. I had to have it, obviously. So, so I didn't pay full price.
So I do want to get Beyond in 4K, but that starts a slippery slope of getting the other ones in 4K. So,
yeah. Well, yeah, I'm a completist. I have to have all the Star Trek.
Yeah.
I'll even be getting Discovery at some point, I'm sure. So.
Yeah, well, I got season 1. I just wasn't in a rush. I think I just don't want to pay the full price. I don't think they're worth it. Like £30, $45, and like $65.70 for you. So they're not worth it for that. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. Um, Sergeant Montgomery, $5. Here's 5 antique greenbacks from Mariner's loot crate of confiscated items from the
Amazing.
bottom of the lower decks of Trekyards. Thank you for all the content. Well, thank you, Sergeant Montgomery, for watching. Very regular name here, and you super chat a lot, and it really helps us out. That support is everything. So, thank you.
Yeah, we always try and push to new grounds because you guys support us, and it's great because we love releasing the Saturday videos that might not get that many views, but we know the views that do watch it love it, and that values to us because the regulars, you know, we love giving the interesting stuff. And I really loved our Shinjo Part 1. If you guys haven't seen this last Saturday's, a really good concept by John Eves on the Shinjo, better in most ways. I loved our discussion. I love the graphics. You know, go check that out. I find it very interesting.
Yeah.
I do.
Sebastian, aka Space Daddy, throws in €2.
Boom.
Not feeling very interactive. Well, neither am I. Been having kind of a blah day, but I'm here anyway, interacting with you guys. So
well, look at Mariner's face. Her face legs. Stuart, ready? Ready, bud? Ready? Ready? No. You talk about my show. You talk about my show, Stuart. That's what she's saying. And you wouldn't want to disappoint Mariner, although she will enjoy her brig time with you. Wink.
Ooh, wow. There you go. Sean Corpier, $5. Boimler in therapy missing and also complaining about Mariner to Troy. That would work. That would work, actually, because he is on the Titan now, and supposedly she still is a counselor. So, yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be a fun one of the early episodes. Yeah.
Complaining about the Boimler effect, the thing being named after him, even though he's like the hardest worker. Yeah, it's great.
Although I believe they said that Marina wasn't coming back for the first two. It's just Frakes. But I mean, who the hell knows? They're not going to tell us everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're hoping for more people rather than less. So.
And Furious Fawn says, I'd like a Captain Foley, Commander Calkins cameo as institutionalized genetically engineered humans that keep escaping and pestering the guys at Utopia Planitia with questions and updated, better ship designs, hopefully. That'd be great.
Or we just keep screaming the 2237 shuttles. We want to see them more. Discovery shuttles.
No, it should be in a counseling session. I see these Discovery shuttles everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Everywhere I look.
That's also good. No, we think we'd be very perfect for cameos on the show. In literally dozens of potential roles.
Oh, God, I just had another thing that just was in my head and it's gone now. God damn it. Not a band account, $2. Shax deserves a funeral with amazing grace on pipes. Yes. I did like Shax. Too bad he's gone. Spoilers.
And often you kill a main character in your first season, who's a security officer.
He'll come back as a bad guy in season 2, or the son of Shax.
That would make sense. No, he's a Cardassian. There you go. Because first of all, now he's Cardassian.
No, he's a Packlid. They got cloning tech.
Oh God.
That'd be great. An army of Shaxes come after the Cerritos because the Packlids had some of his DNA from the explosion.
And the irony is, it's not that far out of Man's wheelhouse.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. Did you ever heard of somebody named Stuart Ashens? He's got a channel on YouTube just called Ashens where he reviews stuff on his brown couch.
Don't think so.
I watch him all the time. He's done 2 movies now. He's done Quest for the Game Child and The Polybius Heist, which I bought on Blu-ray, which was really great. It's basically him in a movie as him. Doing some really funky stuff. And I thought, wouldn't it be great to someday do a Trekyards movie where it's just you and me doing our thing at a convention or whatever, and there's some kind of great plot. That'd be fun to do a movie for Trekyards as us, you know?
My issue is you'd have to be Jay and I'd have to be Silent Bob because I can't remember lines. So I'd have to not say anything, you have to do all the talking.
We'll figure it out.
Except occasional lines that I can say something useful.
If anybody has a script or a story idea for a Trekyards movie, we can make it happen at some point.
Trek and Silent Sam. Yes.
Number 1 special puts in $2.
Thank you.
More alpha and beta canon. Well, they're really good with canon as it is. Beta canon, I don't think they'll ever legitimize a lot of that. So, I mean, they did with the Titan and Riker a bit. So you never know.
But that's such a broad statement. Beta canon is everything from a book
Books to
one time,
comics
a
to-
comic
yeah.
one time, the side of a cereal packet, the incorrect facts on. You know what I mean? It is everything and nothing. The Titan was obviously a little bit different. That was one of the most canon-y side canon things because it was in so many different mediums. You know, so just saying beta canon in general, good ideas are good ideas. You know, like the idea of, Vija, although well, the Doomsday Machine is the Borg, like that concept from one of the books. That's a fun concept. You could play with that. Really good concepts that have been written in the last 50 years. Yes, just lots of because it's in one book. Because once you start, it's like the Aventine books. I haven't read them, but I recognize them as being the canon of where the show went because it limits everyone's creativity. It puts everyone in certain places. It's the ship designs, the tech, whatever. It's just like once you say yes to
It's
one
a slippery
thing.
slope. It's a slippery slope.
Yeah, and as we've said back when Discovery was slightly more frustrating, how if you make the Enterprise bigger, the original Colony Enterprise in canon, that makes Enterprise A bigger, which makes every scale shot in every movie bigger, which makes Enterprise B bigger. The B is now bigger than the C is now bigger than the D. It makes the Deredex bigger. It makes the Borg Cube bigger because now you've got all the shots in comparison. So and then now suddenly nothing makes sense once you start fudging one thing. And so if you start beta canoning one little thing, well, maybe Data had two cats. Well, now that's a little slippery slope.
Plus, there's the more legitimized beta canon like Star Trek Online, where you know where the characters kind of end up. So if they want to line it up with that, because I'd consider it more canonized than other beta canon as far as Star Trek Online goes, but it's still not really canon.
Well, if you kind of TOS uniform, fighting extra random kit bash uniform. In a Borg, in a bridge that's 4 times too big, and everyone knows it's too big.
Like Discovery Bridge, what?
Well, yeah. Although they feel fine size-wise. No, that is the slipperiest of slopes. Because it's like wow, yeah.
They could all be all the beta canon stuff could be holodeck programs.
Well, that's
you imagine if and then the holodeck program fires up. You see a few beta canon things, and then it's like, oh, that'd be great, but nah, it doesn't make any sense, and they leave.
Well, it's like I use the Star Trek of Gods and Men as a reference in Temporal Anomaly as a holodeck program, which canonizes the idea of a Gods and Men but as an internal story, which is a fun way of kind of getting perfect way of getting around that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Sean Corpier, $5. Riker keeps showing up during therapy sessions for some one-on-one. Ooh, Captain. I don't think he would do that. He's too professional for that. Or is
he? He clicks his fingers on the bridge. He's not the most professional man. But I do certainly hope that we're going to get a lot of Riker next year, or this year, or 3 months. But I think now is a good time then, as we're up down Super Chats. Put in the chat right now, Super Chat or not, what one single actor or character, same thing, but what single character do you most want to see? Most want to see. If you have one, if the Lower Decks gods look at this chat, and maybe a lot of these names might link up. So if 50 of you say one character, that might mean there's some consensus there. So what's the one you'd like to see of all the ones?
I'll throw mine out while they're doing that. I'd really like to see Worf. I mean, Worf has been in more Star Trek than anybody. Everybody's been clamoring to have Worf in Picard, and things like that. So it would make sense to have him in Lower Decks because we know the Klingons look like Klingons there. We don't have that question mark in the air of what will he look like. So Worf would be great. You could definitely continue so many things with him, but then you don't want him taking over the show again, So it would have to be like a cameo kind of thing.
Yeah, guys, put in right now what character you most want to see. If you only have one pick, who would it be? Whereas if you bring Worf in, I would imagine it'd be a multiple episode story, or they introduce a Klingon arc, and it's like a background arc. Wouldn't it be funny if every other episode Worf's on the view screen talking to the bridge crew about some massive epic war thing happening with the Klingons, and our characters just keep ignore it. massive political drama, and he's there all the time. They're always involved, and it's like the most F story in the entire show. And they're in these battles. They leave these battles, and there's this, Klingon Civil War, the least important thing. But that'd be kind of fun though. Just most epic sounding thing ever. And then it cuts from view screen, Boimler walking in, and then goes downstairs and just plays with the dog for an episode. And then at the end of the episode, you hear, "Yes, the Battle of Chaklek 3 was a great success. We lost 44 birds of prey, but it was glorious." And Boimler's like, "Oh, nice." That would be fun. That'd be a fun way to do it.
Yeah. So we've got.
Yeah, put in the chat right now.
Paul.
Okay.
Paul and Dojin, Kirk, NX-01, NX-01, Worf, Captain Archer. Again, you can do all these in holodecks, so that's fine. So, Barclay, Uhura, O'Brien. O'Brien, I think, is in talks to be in season 3, from what I've heard. But that's very early news. I wouldn't take that with I would take that with a grain of salt for sure. Archer, O'Brien, Worf, Porthos, the Doctor from Voyager, again, perfect fit. He could come back even in Picard. It would be great. Dax, Odo, Kirk, Quark. I can see Quark showing up. Quark would be a perfect one for Lower Decks.
Yeah, they go to DS9 and go to Quark's bar, and that would be a cameo, like the opening scene is Mariner with Quark.
And Morn would be there.
Yes, and starring Morn.
And it'd be the whole thing. Mariner's talking about this guy she knows who never shuts up and goes to meet him, and then he never gets a chance to talk, and then you get a cutaway to something else, and then they walking out of Quark's later, and that guy just doesn't shut up, does he? And again, we never get to hear Morn. That'd be great.
No, Quark's a good one because they just throwing in around DS9 reference was fantastic and phenomenal, and so yeah, just being in Quark's, and obviously Shimmon's got to put on the teeth because you can't do the Quarkian voice without the teeth. But Aaron Eisenberg kept his own, and they made replicas for Max, etc. So hopefully it wouldn't, it's even licensed. So they want to make them, they can make them, etc., etc. And he did have some for the destination photo shoot when that was done. So yeah, Quark's actually a very smart option. Although again, you'd want to use that multiple times because going to DS9 is quite a big thing.
Yeah.
And make it a meaningful moment, and not just Mariner knows everybody. I would have to be slightly more intelligent with that. Yeah.
It would be cool too if they went to like this resorts and they get there and it's a moon that Quark now owns. He's upgraded to a moon like his cousin.
A single bar alone on the moon. We just parking.
No, I'd say more like a hotel, Quark's hotel or something would be kind of neat.
Yeah.
But Sean throws in $5 and says Worf. And the Ronin $2. The Doctor, the original from Voyager. Yes. Again, we've talked about that multiple times. Where Picardo would be great, and if Picardo is somebody that would definitely do it as well.
Yeah.
Even seeing like Tuvok or something would be great. Janeway, I want to see Janeway back. And then the joke, of course, is Ensign Kim, still an ensign or like an admiral now or something. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Or he's a captain of literally the smallest ship in Starfleet. Like he's the captain of a runabout. It's like
captain of a Type 15 shuttle.
But I made captain. It does say captain on my uniform, yeah. And the Doctor's a great shout because you could use the Doctor explicitly as an EMH and as the EMH and as Zimmerman, and I would honestly have all three in one episode because that would be really freaking funny. And so Mariner goes on holodeck and says, "Computer activate the EMH Mark 1." EMH Mark 1, you do the whole thing. Or like you'd have some sort of heist in Zimmerman's office as a flashback, and they have to bring the EMH Mark 1 to go into Zimmerman's office, which works. But inside Zimmerman's office, the EMH Mark 3, the Doctor being worked on, and Zimmerman walks in, and you have three EMHs. It's just Picardo for like 5 minutes just talking, and then but he has to play all because he's different. Season 1 grumpy, season 7 suave, and man. That'd be good.
Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of potential there for sure.
Mariner's like, I just love bald men. Just gets to watch that. Just like, good times, good times.
Damien House says Grand Nagus Rom would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like to see what he's up to as Grand Nagus, whether all those reforms are women wearing clothes now on Franganar. Who knows? Probably. It would be
Hard
a very
sells.
big scandal.
Hard sells, but yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Kim will have one rank pip with Golden Admiral border around it. Andy Dick, yeah. It'd be cool if they activate the EMH and Andy Dick shows up. Not that one. And then Picardo comes in.
Well, then Bashir comes in to be all three. Not that one, the original. No bloody Mark II, Mark III, or Mark IV. Mark one.
I can see that being a joke in the show. That's perfect. That's perfect.
So literally, Alexander Sindig just comes in for one line. Hello, please don't enter the medical emergency. Wait, not you, Mariner. Oh God, Mariner. And each of them, that'd be good. Or just the EMH party. She just goes to an EMH conference, and so you see like 10 different EMH versions all hanging out. You see them interacting, and so yeah, and you have to invent new actors. So you pick some really fun comedic talent to be different voices, or like alumni from the Trek series having to put on like an EMH voice. Or I guess you can have EMH Case McFadden, because I'm sure they might do that at some point.
McCoy.
Well, that'd be harder to do. He's dead, but yes.
But
visually.
The latest Dr. Mark, you can make it whatever you want. So you're scrolling through the doctors. McCoy did it. Literally swiping left.
But that's actually a fun concept, just having an EMH party, like a conference, because they're all kind of semi-sentient now, and so it's just every medical officer in history now gets an EMH if you want it. And then you could bring in Dr. Culber from Discovery. Well,
there you go.
Oh no, he's secret. So no, he's redacted.
Yeah, that's right. He's redacted and in the future now. Anyway. Sean, $5. Random lower deck characters from each show. Make a game of pointing them out. What do you mean, like background characters that show up from time to time? Because you say lower decks characters, but James McGill.
Well, there is no real low decks characters from the other shows. It'd be hard to work out who's who. I guess you'd have Kim from Voyager. You'd have Chekhov from, but they're not really low decks characters, but in terms of tier of.
James McGill, $2. New episode, Revenge of the Pacnar. Enterprise, we are stronger. Revenge of the Pacnar. Not sure what you're referring to there.
Pacnar Star Trek. There is no reference to Pacnar Star Trek the way you've said it. Sorry, the joke is lost on us. What are you on about?
Area 51. Alexander, son of Worf, wearing a t-shirt that says, "Will work for parental love."
It'll never work then. Or no.
Jesus.
Wouldn't it be great if Mariner says, or the captain is like, guys, we've got the son of Worf coming on board. The son of Worf. And it's that human kid that he adopted.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, where's he been for the last 40 years?
Jeremy, what the hell's
Renner?
his name?
No, that's a real person.
No.
Jeremy Irons?
No.
That's a real person. Damn it. Jeremy Springsteen? No. That kid, that'd be fun. They'd be like, where's he? Well, I think that'd be too obvious. Like, he's not the real son.
Yeah. Reese says, given we're getting a Janeway ECH and Prodigy, would be a bit repetitive to the same with the Picardo EMH. I mean...
Well, there's ECH and EMH, but are you just saying that because Janeway's an ECH in she's a training program, she's ETH, by that logic, the programs in Picard are overused then now, which they're obviously not because they're going to use them more, and you can't use holograms, so I think it's kind of moot at this point. Different shows, different vibes. I can't see that being a thing.
And Wingsaber says, well, EMH Mark 1s are all now minors. Mm-hmm. They are.
They were.
Unless they have rights now, because Voyager came back with the EMH, who's now a person. So, but then we know that all falls apart before Picard because they're artificial intelligence. And Ah,
But I would be shocked if they were still minors. I'd be shocked.
yeah.
Personally.
Snoopy McQueen throws in $5 with a keep it up working out pair.
Thank you.
Thank you. Keeping it up. There you go.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. You guys are awesome.
Ooh. Simon has a good idea too. I like a 45-minute version of Lower Decks. Maybe have the ECH, but been reprogrammed by Badgie. He needs a story ending. See, Badgie could definitely play a part in season 2 for sure. And yeah, if they're messing with an historical holodeck program with one of our classic characters, that'd be fun. Badgie kind of takes over.
I mean, the Doctor does like to teach you a lesson.
Mm.
That's funny. I like that.
Oh, Rude Chef is here. Hey, man, how's it going, Aaron? And Picardo's Doctor on anything would be great. Yeah, Picardo, like I said, we've talked about that multiple times. Even with Picard, it'd be great to have him back.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And it's so natural. Kind of beyond natural. How's that happen? Do it. Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Wow.
So I take it you guys are all here because you like Lower Decks. But I want to know how excited you are to have it in August. Because it is first, apparently it's the first one that's coming out August 12th. And then I think they're going to do the same thing they did last year. Just going to, as soon as it ends, they're going to go into season 4 of Discovery. Holy shit. Or do you think they're going to drop Strange New Worlds on us or Prodigy first? I think it's going to be Lower Decks into Prodigy, but then there's 2 animated shows. Like, I'm wondering about the release schedule now. Damn. Because we haven't really got confirmation of much of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's super on purpose. I think they don't know what will be done until it's done, which is fine. Prodigy just feels so in the works. I feel like you need to give that one second bout, otherwise, because if you do that, you get 10 more weeks of working on the other shows, and 10 weeks is how every other show has been rushed when it comes to visual effects, the end sequences, the vibe, the reshoot. So 10 more weeks is good, and that means you can have trailers for it near the end of each show for the next show, and then talk about a way to end the year. We're already thinking end the year with Picard or Strange New Worlds, because if you have Strange New Worlds over Christmas time and that sort of time, that could be very powerful. It's like a really nice, everyone's locked inside, been a good way because it's Christmas, having fun together, family, and here's a family show. But then you got Picard and Discovery, which are not necessarily family shows before that.
That's interesting. See, because the Strange New Worlds, Picard season 2, and Prodigy still to come out,
and Discovery, which is filming, which last time they filmed and released in a year, so they're filming season 4 while they're releasing season 3, so which means they could rush that as well. So
you think we're gonna get like Lower Decks, Discovery, Picard season 2, Strange New Worlds, and then Prodigy? All like back to back.
Well, they've actually got a legitimate choice as to who releases first, because they've got too many shows in production to have that be a natural one and the next. Because Discovery is filming earlier than Picard and Strange New Worlds. Okay, great. But Prodigy's been going a lot longer, so that should come out next. But then Strange New Worlds is a lot more hype, and it'll be quicker to film theoretically because it's on standing sets and they'll probably do less ambitious stuff first season. Just kind of keep the vibe, because we want a sort of more classical vibe. You don't need these big expansive things, etc., etc. But that said, season 3 of Discovery was much more low key and achieved a better reaction. So, but do you really want to see another Discovery, even like 2 seasons of Discovery before they've even made season 2 of Picard? That seems odd. But Picard would be the least ready to be released because they can't rush that so much. Yeah, I would assume Prodigy.
We've already seen on-set photos from Picard season 2. Haven't seen anything from Strange New Worlds.
That is on purpose. That is absolutely on purpose.
I know it is. I know it is. I think once Lower Decks starts, right before it starts, there'll be like and this is what's coming next, and you'll get some inside information that way. But.
And hey, there might be some beautiful synergy. Maybe Pike will appear in Lower Decks to promote to promote Strange New Worlds. She holodeck programs into Strange New Worlds, and it's like, and at the end of the episode, they release this trailer, and then we see live action Mariner in the same scene but reversed, live action version of everything. How good would that be, synergy, Stuart?
Too good for them to do.
I know, that was so good.
Or do or on the holodeck for Strange or for Lower Decks. Show me all the best captains in Starfleet history. Robert April, okay. Pike, there's Ensign Mount.
Pike A,
okay.
Pike B.
Giorgio, who? What?
Yeah, which is redacted. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I could see, like, I think Strange New Worlds will be next after Prodigy. I think that's what makes the most sense, especially Discovery. They got the most brand on, which means they each season they got more of a fan base to let down. So if they don't have to rush it, that's good. No, it's true. I mean, those that really love Discovery, they've got to make every season needs to be the best season they've ever made. Otherwise, why are you making the show if you're not trying to make the best season that you've ever made? You're not trying to make a worse season than the season before. But I can imagine Strange New Worlds. That we know that in Discovery season 4, they will show some basic pictures from that. They are using the LED wall from Mandalorian, which means you need to do a lot less principal photography outside of your facility. And if you think of how TOS was filmed, they had a standing set for Alien Planet. Yeah. And they did both very well with it and quite poor with it, depending on the episode. If you've got the same concept but now an LED wall, then Pike and Spock can beam onto generic Talos 4-looking planet with those foreground rocks and everything else is LED screen. And so we still get those full alien environments of TOS, but in that control setting, never need to leave the set building. And therefore we don't see any leaked images. Because I'm imagining that first trailer is going to be a real, the TOS fans are going to get them at the hardest directions of their lives. Just like any table will just be pushed over. So basically when we watch it, right, Stuart, we're going to have to be like this. So go far away and pull the microphone. Like how far can you get away? We have to be yeah, because otherwise, I mean, there'll be monsters of enjoyment happening.
Yeah, possibly. I'm hoping so anyway. Especially when we see the Enterprise and it's going to be straight struts and it's going to look right.
New paint scheme, but most of the same design, and they're gonna make a joke about the new uniforms, and they'll say, "But we just got new uniforms." But these are newer uniforms. I like your logic, Captain. Are you a suck-up, Spock? Yes. Okay, great. That's why I hired you. But we don't use money. Damn it, Spock. You're going to agree with me.
Guys, 4 more likes to get to 100 likes. That is awesome. So hit that like button if you haven't. You guys are doing great with the suggestions, comments, super chats. Keep that up. But Sean throws in another $5.
Thank you.
Damn. I love this idea, too. Badgie and Dr. Moriarty join forces to empower holodecks everywhere with sentient programs. And they got to bring the doctor in as a hostage negotiator to talk to them.
My God.
I had that last part myself, but yeah.
Genius.
Yeah, there's so much untapped potential that they could do. Damn. Sean throws in another $5.
Thank you.
Also an episode, The Revenge of Peanut Hamper. Yeah, I could see Peanut Hamper coming back, being like, it got sucked through a wormhole and it found the Voyager planet that fixed V'ger, or the V'ger planet, and it fixed Peanut Hamper, and it's a she, I don't know what it is, comes back and just wants to destroy the Cerritos or Earth.
Yeah, just destroy all of the things.
Yeah. I hate Peanut Hamper so much. Oh, well. Yeah. 2 more likes, guys, to get to 100. Should be easy to do. I'm looking at you.
No, it's there's Lower Decks of all the shows is the most flexible, and we've already felt that. I mean, who the hell? We were not expecting from the show, as we were very keen to point out at the time, a Klingon rack of weapons featuring everything from every era, very canon. And now obviously with the Star Trek game from Apple iOS, all the different franchises put together, and Starfleet Command, that couldn't be a thing even a few years ago, and so we're already seeing this. So I would imagine that we might actually get some What?
S1 Noir says, I'm not kidding. When you watch Lower Decks episode 10 again, you hear Boimler bump his erection into the table when he stands up to greet Riker. Well, now I gotta go watch
you heard
that.
Boimler?
Boing.
Boing. But BG Turin says, I think you can run an animated show and a live action show at the same time, plus projects aimed for kids on Nickelodeon. Well, it's first run on CBS All Access. That's irrelevant to the streaming timelines. But remember, you don't want to do them at the same time because then you get half as much money. Think about that. That's the worst thing to do. You want people for... So how many shows is 5 shows?
Yeah.
10 episodes minimum each. Discovery, say 13. That's one show a week. With being 10 each show. You want people to literally have to maintain a CBS All Access subscription for an entire year and can't desubscribe, which means you can get more subscribers each week, and they can't. And once you've already done 10 weeks, F it, I'll do for the next show. That's the goal. That's the big dream team. If you had animated and live action at the same time, you'd lose 10 weeks of production time for one show, and the expectation to go into season 4 and 3 respectively sooner, which means less pre-production time. But also you'd miss out on millions and millions of dollars. And if all these shows are better than they were in seasons 1, 3, 1, etc. A lot of ones actually. There's not that many, etc. I mean, you want that much money because if you how much is a month? Like $13 a month, whatever, for a full year, guaranteed from Star Trek fans, more every week. I mean, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars, and you need to pay for 5 shows because they only make money by selling things to make the shows. They don't have a bank of money, so everything made via the selling the show to Amazon, whatever, is to then make more shows. Mm-hmm. You know, the Nickelodeon deal is a deal to pay for the show, etc., etc. But if they can have 52 weeks of, that's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. It sucks. It's great. It sucks. It's great. And by the time you get to 52 weeks, you'll have Lower Deck season 4. If they can have fully wraparound, could be literally weekly Star Trek all year round. Very practically, especially if you bookend them with the animated, because then you've only got 12 months to make the next season. But if you're doing season upon season, that's a,
I'm wondering if any of these have been sold to other services like Amazon or Netflix, because wasn't Picard on something different like Hulu or something? Amazon?
Yeah.
But not Netflix. But Netflix carried whatever. It's just weird the way that they do it. I don't understand that, but it was definitely all be on CBS All Access or Paramount Plus as it is now. Sorry.
Yes.
And they're all being released as well here in Canada on CTV Sci-Fi. So that's also good. That's been confirmed. So yeah. I just wish we had more information as far as dates and stuff go. I just found out about Lower Decks season 1 being August 12th today.
Well, they did announce August. We just couldn't remember which one.
Oh, yeah, I knew August. I just didn't know when. But yeah, that's really good news. So
yeah, it's like a countdown to how much time we have left in our life, because we do full treat and treat show. It's like we don't, and I'm sure Stranger Worlds is going to really suck the life out of us mentally, but bring that life into the channel. It's just like
that too. But hopefully, it's got that course correction that we want. That we can be like, this is awesome. Episodic Star Trek.
They just need a 25% change, and they'll be right there.
Yeah.
And I'm still annoyed by this in general, but I don't know why. I'm sure it's these big long contracts, but if CBS All Access was available in the rest of the goddamn world, I would pay for it. I would. Because I feel like they've just for Lower Decks, I would pay for it, and that's okay with me. Obviously I got Discovery from Marie's Netflix, yay. I got my Amazon Prime for Picard, and then Lower Decks I didn't get ever. Now I have Amazon. But does anyone know? You asked earlier. Does anyone know if they are already I would assume if they were smart, they would, when they've urged on that deal to get on Amazon for Lower Decks, etc., it would be a multiple season deal. You would hope so.
You'd think so.
It'd be astounding if it was for one season. That'd be terrible.
And you gotta think too, Prodigy is being probably partially paid for by Nickelodeon.
Yes, I would
to get
assume.
the rights to do that.
Big chunk, yeah.
Dan23 says Amazon has a trailer for Lower Decks season 2. Really? Okay.
That's the same trailer he means.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Matt Boardman, I don't think Picard has the Netflix money behind it that Disco had. I don't know if Netflix provided any money beyond season 1.
Well, no, the knowledge was that Netflix said no to Picard, so Amazon took it,
Mm-hmm.
and then, I mean, at this point, it's pretty clear that CBS is putting all their money into them. Because if you look at where the Discoveries were and the Picard was, they flaunted money without they had money, so they weren't as careful with attention to detail. If they have to put their own money in as a company, they have to hire better people. They have to make their return because they have to be more frugal. And I think that came across in season 3 of Discovery. And as we've said a billion times, less money actually equates to more creativity. And Discovery season 3 was a lot less budget feeling, better spent in better places. Actually had a much better result because of it. So, I think they're paying for pretty much everything except the selling at deals. But that's yeah.
Superbat says then why couldn't back in the day Star Trek Next Generation they have 36 episodes inside of a season? If I'm correct, why can't they do that? Well, first of all, the landscape of storytelling and television has changed dramatically. It's not just on networks. Back in the day, having 26 episodes a season was kind of the standard for most shows. Now that's not the case on streaming services. They seem to put more money in for less episodes, but better quality, I guess, as far as visual effects and stuff goes. So, but even that, the visual effects back in the day were really good too. So it's just a different landscape as far as releasing these things. So I don't know why. I would love 24 episodes of Strange New Worlds, but that's like 24 weeks of which we'd probably be happy with, but also like and if they start overlapping shows, then we're really screwed here.
Yeah, there's which we never thought we were going to have, Stuart. That was not a concept that was even in our brains. Bastards, too many shows!
Yeah, when we started Trekyards, there was no new Trek on the horizon.
Nope, not even on the horizon.
There was nothing.
Just the movies, which were lackluster. We never had expectations for. And then, hoi.
Now everything's blown up, and we're just kind of sitting right there at the cusp of like, this is a good time to be a YouTuber.
We built the respect first, etc. But to be clear, though, they could make 26 episodes very happily. The problem is, their budget would then be spread out with those. That's what would happen. And so, because it costs the same proportionate money to the same quality visual effects that it did back in the day, but if you want to stand out and look modern, and Star Trek is known to be better than modern, like extra good, that costs a bit more. And there's the complexity is growing every year as you would want it to be. Well, maybe not ship complexity. Have you seen Discovery and Picard? But creature modeling, like it's other stuff, whatever. We'll accept shitty 3D models for ships, but won't accept for creatures. But you'd have to expect a drastically smaller budget. The cast have to expect less money because they're then having to work. Because think about it, if they're only having to work, I say only, 7 months in a year rather than 9 as an old Trek, that's same money for the same month for more months, or if you have more money, then you're now upping the budget by tens of millions, because if each of the actors and directors and camera guys are being paid for more months, every month of filming, that's a big expense, and visual effects and editors, because a lot of TNG is just walking through corridors. You have to simplify them as well to make them, so and to modern audience, if you want to grab new people, that's why the Lower Decks ones, they should be 26. This show should be 26.
Yeah, and Matt answers. He says just the way the seasons are shorter now. Most seasons are like that, 10 to 13 episodes generally for new shows.
It's a stupid evolution, because Discovery took 2 and a bit seasons just to get to one season of TNG. on how many times the budget? 3, 4,
Yeah.
5 times the budget. But obviously, if you have low decks at 24 episodes, whatever a season, that's 24 amazing ideas you got to have. They will have more stinkers. They will, because if you have to pick your best 13, you have an ability to pick your best 13, and then you have another year to build up new ideas. And a lot of these ideas that they're going to have as seasons go by will be based on older ideas. Culber's season 2 plot line in Discovery was all about his death in season 1. That was his plot line in season 2. And then season 4, Adira and Grey will be based on their plot line of season 3, not necessarily a new plot line. So the more seasons you have, the more you can, there might be season 5 Lodex plot line where just talk about his time with Titan, etc. So, you're less reliant on old stuff if you just keep inventing new stuff, but you need good ideas for that to be worth it, etc.
Yeah. Matt Boardman says, for me, the problem started with Fuller. He wanted Game of Thrones style Trek with stories and budget. CBS didn't agree on both. Unfortunately, Fuller had them backed into a corner with both personnel hired and money spent. Yeah, I mean, if you want to aim the blame at somebody, I guess Fuller. I would have liked to see his vision, though. Because the whole thing with Discovery being able to be identified as a Klingon ship, that's why it's designed that way. That was great. Would have loved to have seen that. But anyway, he also screwed up the Klingons for us. So,
well, I mean,
thanks, man.
It would have been easier to ignore his Trek as canon if it was even more outlandish. The fact they course corrected into a hybrid made it more hard to deal with.
Matt also says, and I didn't know this, interestingly enough, the 10 to 13 episode season started after the last writer's strike, so I have a feeling that was part of the collective bargaining agreement. That's interesting, and I could definitely see that being part of the negotiations, but I didn't realize that's when it happened. But that's interesting.
I mean, there's been so many writer strikes, though. I wonder why that one was the one that made it, because that's fundamentally changed all of the industry, especially trying to do streaming services where you need week on week. This is the time when 26 episodes would be amazing. Now they've got to make 5 shows to be able to keep up with a yearly demand, whereas if they're just doing 2 seasons, 1 DS9 and 1 Voyager, boom, done, 2 shows.
I wonder what the turnaround time is like too, because we know that talking to the designers that there's literally a week from we need a ship for this episode, you got a week to design it, and then they have to build it, I guess. But they had limited amount of time. Like, is this environment the same, or are they getting like all the scripts and divvying it out to different departments and different companies to handle stuff? Like, I don't know. It's a totally different world we live in now. Like, it's not the same production of like routine, I guess. I don't know how it's done, but because I think they basically have the season kind of mapped out. Usually, hopefully, Discovery didn't, and so they kind of know what's going on. It's not like a weekly kind of.
Well, it varies. Obviously, departments start wanting to be further ahead, but it gets less and less the further you go. And as we've seen, they change things. And if you change one thing, it can snowball drastically. Although, when you're choosing to use the LED wall like a Mandalorian, you've got to do almost all of the production work beforehand, because you need the entire 3D set designed, built, lit, ready, shots planned, storyboard planned, and some rehearsal, and then you film, then you edit, and there's very little post work to be done. So that actually makes the show far more sustainable, because you have to do the work and because you're building assets before, you can swap sets, you can take sets from other things, you can take assets, it's ready to go. Whereas what we saw with Picard, they hadn't built stuff early enough so that all their models are pretty substandard and lazy at the end, because they just changed and built things, whatever. So it's not so good.
We do have a super chat from James McGill, which we'll get to in just a second. But I think one of the problems with having 24 to 26 episodes a season is, like you said, there's some bad episodes, and some of them are just ideas. This is a great idea for a story. Okay, we need another episode. We're going to use this idea. And there's a lot of filler in that episode. We found that with TNG, that some of the episodes are a good premise, a good idea, and even TOS, especially like Let That Be Your Last Battlefield, and the Omega, whatever that episode is. Anyway, great idea, but not enough story. So there's a lot of filler of like running through corridors or just stuff that's not good. So I kind of like that there's less episodes in a way, because, like you said, it kind of refines it down to the better episodes, the better ideas, and more time can be emphasized on that. So,
But then obviously when you were saying often through Discovery Season 3, this is just a filler episode, which it really wasn't. It's just they weren't getting to the main plot quick enough. You said several times, this is why they're just doing so much filler content. So even with so little, you felt filler, which just shows bad writing in terms of like story progression.
mm-hmm. Well, James McGill, though, $5.
Thank you.
Great to see past one-time guest characters from other Star Trek shows to appear on Lower Decks, especially the popular ones we wish we saw more of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see Brunt come back. Get a Jeffrey Combs character in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if I was Mike, I would aim to get an original Trek act every 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I know that sounds a bit formulaic, but I really would, because they can have so many unique ways of doing ththings, and once you start building up relationships with these characters, you can then bring them back again and again. And now they aren't just your old character, because as you know, having Jonathan Frakes just played a old retired Riker post sad kid death, and then to play the most happy he's ever been Riker within the course of 6 months, you know, there's a Lower Decks version of Riker that is clearly unique to Lower Decks, because he was never that, jazzy, because he wasn't, once they're in your show, you make the unique version of them, and so that's okay. And so you can have Rom, who's now Grand Nagus Rom, never see him like that as his full power. That's great. And him and Lita together, so I would do every 2. I would honestly do every 2. Even if it is just a view screen conversation or whatever. It does obviously raise the budget massively, because if a 30-second guest spot costs you an extra $10,000, isn't that better spent towards season 3, where you could hire, you could hire a better writer, or you could have, 3 minutes worth of footage made. But that's why cameos versus real performances I prefer. That's why J.J. Hertzler is the guy in the, was fine in Low Decks, but it's like, I mean, okay, it's good, just not satisfying or anything, just nice.
Yeah, I suppose so. No, nobody mentioned Ardra, Area 51.
That's a good shout.
It is a good shout. Yeah. Oh, there's so many good ones from TNG they could bring back as far as one-time characters go. Somebody also mentioned earlier, like the actual characters from Lower Decks, the episode Lower Decks. Nice to see where they're at, for sure.
Yeah. Naomi Wildman, since this is before Picard, you give Icheb some great stuff.
Which they won't, probably.
Which they won't, but it'd be great.
Yeah. Let's see. We have 107 likes. Can we hit 115?
Hopefully.
8 more likes.
And honestly, we're about $70 away from being a gold number, so it's very achievable. Although Smart Smears says, also lots of shows are being finished after the season starts. I think that was the case for Lower Decks Season 1. Sorry to burst the bubble, but that was the case with TNG for DS9, for Voyager, for Enterprise.
Yeah.
Voyager sometimes was being finished the night it was released. If the CG was longer, whatever, it was elaborate. All those shows being done. Because if those shows take 24 episodes, 24 weeks to be released, and they take 9 months to film, then, and you need 2 months break, there isn't enough. I think TNG they have 3 weeks. They had 3 weeks from the end of one season to start writing the next season, just to be able to get into the next slot.
Damn.
Because if you're also releasing in 1 year, but then you're losing 3 months from releasing the show, and taking 2 weeks off, you now lost 4 months of your 1 year. So you've obviously, to finish the year, you've got to be making it while it's releasing, otherwise you don't have a year. I mean, you can do it in 9 months, but you need to have that time off as well. So it's,
And honestly, Matt might be able to tell us more about production times for TNG and stuff. He might know more about that. But it's interesting to hear the designers talk, saying that they only had a limited amount of time to do something, and if they had more time, they would have tweaked it a little bit more, but they had to sometimes hand off things they weren't super happy with, just because of the deadlines.
Which is, is sad. because we obviously want the best quality thing, but that's why a lot of the time the producers, the good ones, although it's good in hindsight, were able to not allow bad designs to go through, etc., etc.
Yeah. Matt says, I think it was 3 months from what Doug said.
So which answer to which question?
I don't know. I think about production time would be my guess. They knew exactly when they would come back, but those crews were extremely efficient. Yeah, like they had teams that carried season to season to season. So far, Discovery hasn't had that. They're chopping people like mid-season and shuffling the deck, so it causes a lot of problems, right? There were super tight schedules on TNG.
And Wing Saber, some shows are still being finished even after they air. Remember the Coffee Cup and Game of Thrones? Or Thrones? Well, I mean, that was a mistake that they fixed. I mean, that's not the same thing. It's a blooper they didn't catch. They would edit out. And that's all good, you know. I'm fine with that. I just wish they'd done that for Picard Season 1, the fleet at the end, and the D7 in Season 1 of Discovery. And, you know, there's things they should have fixed in the Blu-ray and they didn't. And that's only a shame on them, because that is a shameful thing not to do. They had time and money and effort and they didn't bother.
Yeah.
They should have made the case.
Oh, Matt was saying 3 months between seasons. Yes.
Well, then the writers didn't have that, because I watched a full interview with Rick, the guy to BSG. He said they had like 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, writers are different to designers. They have to write further in advance than designers, because the writers' room isn't a quick process. So the cast aren't working 2 weeks, but the team
Yeah.
So you don't want to rush writers' room. You want to actually write. It's a process.
Mark is here. Good to see you, Mark.
Hey! Oh. A good phone call or a bad phone call? Yeah, Ron Moore, thanks. Appreciate it.
Probably a work phone call.
Yeah. Might just have a fun work phone call.
I suppose so, maybe. All my phone calls or Skype calls with you, I mean, you know, most of them are fun, I guess.
Yes. Excellent. Excellent.
And Wingsaber, if they had redid the CGI for Picard finale, it would have looked great, even the CGI for Data's hairline. Not just even his hairline. I just recently, like 2 days ago, saw another one where somebody fixed Data, his whole face.
And like full-on fix, not just like improved. Yeah.
It's just sad that the people that are actually making the show don't even notice or don't care. Same with Troy, you know, her contacts. And yeah, you know, if she wouldn't have told them that, they wouldn't have known. It's like, wow, do your research, guys. Do your homework. But,
I mean, the fact that, you know, Brent's hair was presumably a wig of some kind, just get the right haircut. I mean, there's literally 200 episodes of TNG. Why did they not look at it's remarkable that they could... you know, the fact they had to CG it was because they failed to do it on set. You can make a wig overnight, a high-quality wig. You can. That's purely on them failing. That's it, you know. It's like having the wrong comm badge on the guy in Discovery. Like, that's just them failing to do a thing. Now, yes, the uniform was great, but, you know, it's like if you had someone like us on team, like, both of us could have said, Brent, you don't look quite right. But the annoying thing is, like, they got the Nemesis uniform right, they got things right, you know, they got 10 forward right, they got their uniforms right, but then the haircut, like, I don't care if he's more wrinkly, to be honest, or he's got a bigger chin. The simple things to get right, you know, the contact lenses are even wrong. Like, they're close, but they're wrong. Like, we did comparisons, they aren't the same. It's not that hard to replicate exactly.
Yeah. Mark Lawrence, $5. I just wanted to see a live-action version of all these characters. Could be fun, and a way to get proper-looking ship sets for the live-action series. Well, that's the great thing about the voice actors. They look like the characters.
Somewhat.
Boimler definitely does.
Yeah, I think that must be one episode at some point. Just like Simpsons went live-action once, kind of.
Yeah.
And that was a big deal. I really think they need to do one at some point. Go live-action. Go to an alternate universe and they're all physical. Because I want to see what these low-dex uniforms look like with proper high-quality materials. Because they look a bit cartoony. I want to see them done properly, and how could they do them properly? You know. Although Pre-Dep has a great question: are the new Star Trek writers bad, or are the old writers just that good? Interesting question.
Probably both. Again, like I said, it's in TNG they had a team that they kept together generally for this. Plus, they also accepted submissions from fans as well, which I think they're doing again, from what I've heard. They're starting that up again.
Although, is that the same as when they said Rod Roddenberry was an executive producer and they had Canon teams and they say stuff, Stuart. They say stuff for press. I'm not going to call that as anything more than it's a press. It's like technically we do, but the criteria are unsendable. It's like, great, thanks.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. Plus, shuffling things around so much, like I said with Discovery, like they're changing stuff mid-season after a few episodes are out or filmed or done. They're like getting rid of the executive producers. They're changing the vision of the show midstream, and it shows because there's a lot of course correction and jankiness to get back to kind of something that makes sense.
And do you wonder why the foreshadowing in episode 1 of Picard doesn't really make sense later on? Because it was designed for different plots. You wonder why there's a billion left plot devices, because they're all invented and abandoned and left and then ignored, and then you go resub new stuff, and then you're changing again, and yeah,
that was one of my favorite lives where we went through all the plot threads that just went nowhere. Oh my god,
embarrassing.
So many.
Yeah. And they don't stand out in a binge because it doesn't matter. You're just watching it. Who cares? But Discovery didn't feel that way. It was a poor writing.
Especially when week on week we do our prediction of what we think's going to happen next week. And say, oh, this plot thread's going to do this. That plot thread's never mentioned again, although it was a pretty big part of this episode for some reason.
What about her Trill friend? What about the Borg that can survive in space, get blown out? No, okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Who cares? Moving on. Don't care. Remember, guys, Pulitzer Prize-winning writer Michael Chabon.
Doesn't mean anything though. Like, I wanted to give the guy credit, and he just just because you're good at writing one or getting one thing right doesn't mean you're good at everything you do. Well,
another example: Steven Spielberg, Alien 1, and then Prometheus. Same guy, same universe, two drastically different quality movies. One guy does not always make quality. Sorry to tell you guys, but this is preaching to the choir here, but same with me. I'm not going to always make good fan films or good CG, etc. That's fine. I just don't have millions behind me. But good writers versus bad writers. Obviously, now you have more interference by the studio, more specific interference. In the old days, I'm sure interference like I want more Picard episodes, whatever, but it would be less specific, which does not help. You have much more canon to deal with because they're inventing canon last time. Now they're having to adhere to canon. Problem is the team is different teams, but there's a certain willy-nilliness to a lot of it, which my man is clearly one of us, and goes through it, glides through it like air. The other guys are trying to wade through canon like a sludge. It's like no, it's a blessing. Use canon like a blessing, not like a curse.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's you guys. That's not us. That's you guys. You can't ruin the universe.
There's a rich canonical universe out there to use. Just use it. Don't fight it. Let it happen.
But yeah, I think chopping and changing is the biggest problem. And obviously, write characters that are poor from inception. If you write a character as bad as Burnham from the start, that's a problem, and you are now saddled with that character. It's like, unfortunately, Tasha Yar, right? Tasha Yar and Troy both were uninteresting characters how they were used, because of how they were used. That's on the writing. The actors elevated them. Excellent. But the fact that Troy's in so few in the last 2 seasons we watched shows how little they really cared and put in. But we remember the good times because they're episodic and they shone different times. Yeah. Sorry, Ridley Scott. Yeah.
Area 51, $5. They return to Mintaka 3 and find out they opened a Picard Land theme park. The Picard. That'd be great. Yeah, that would be funny, actually. Eugene, 500 rubles. Pulitzer Prize winning author doesn't mean the writing is good. It means Pulitzer Prize is BS. And Matt Boardman, though, says, to me, there was a definite disconnect between the people on the staff and on the new stuff versus the old stuff. Also, I think we're missing the quality of writing that people like Ron Moore brought. And never has Michael Piller been missed more in these current iterations of Trek. Yes, Michael Piller was, in fact, fantastic. So I totally agree with that. The new Star Trek needs the stories quality from Trekyards. I mean, we would do it.
It's yeah. I mean, what am I doing in my Trek shorts? I'm inventing Star Trek stories that have to be made on a fraction of a budget, with me investing hundreds of hours in, and that's great, and hopefully you guys enjoy them. I can't achieve much with those things, because of course I can't. Limited actors, limited costumes, whatever. Especially if the costumes have to be a certain quality. But, I'm very excited to see what you guys think of my multiple Star Trek stories, even if they're, have to be mostly character-based. Which I think, fundamentally is what you want Star Trek to be. Just, enjoying the world, because things should make sense. I mean, as people saw from my Hours at Warp short, it's just a dude on a car ride, basically.
Yeah.
Talking to Siri, or Alexa. But that final reference at the end about the Amargosa Observatory, throwaway line, but instantly for a Star Trek fan, grounds it with a heavy heart, and you're like, boom, that's a guy that understands the universe.
You know exactly where it is in the timeline, too.
And it leaves you, which I love, with a wonderful sense of dread at the end, which is unearned from the short itself, but you're like, oh, fuck. This guy could die. This guy's like, damn. So I love that. It's understanding the context, using the universe, using it,
Yeah. Matt Boardman, my experience on Discovery was that there was a lot of people who signed on because they wanted to make a name for themselves, put their stamp on Star Trek rather than making a good show. It was making a good show that fit an established universe. Yeah. That's what we've said all along. It's like, especially Alex Kurtzman just wanting to piss on it, like, hey, that's mine, I own that, look, this is my take on it. Changing canon, which we've seen 50 years of established visual canon, all of a sudden it's like, oh, by the way, no, this is how things are going to look from now on. It's like, then just say it's rebooted universe. Like, you would have got credit, because you did good if you look at it from that point of view, but when you're trying to shoehorn it into an established timeline. Are you saying it's true
from a certain point of view?
It is a certain point of view. Anyway, when you're trying to shoehorn something into an established timeline that has had multiple iterations, 50 years worth, where you see this time period and it's every time done correctly, and then to say, no, that's not how it looked, come on. Just say you're reimagining it. Say it's a reboot. Do whatever you need to do. And we'd be like, okay, cool, you did a good job. But
obviously that wasn't Kurtzman, that was Fuller. So,
wow.
And then they've got to save face in the press, and then at a certain point you get used to the lie. But obviously, once you're 13 episodes in, is that not the new canon? Because now you're committed. The answer is no. The answer is no. It's not. You're making something that isn't as canon as our canon.
Pradeep asks, will Sam ever want to write for Star Trek new series?
The problem is, and I've said this a few times, if I work on real Star Trek, I can't make fan films anymore, and a lot of fan films rely on me. So that might be a slight loss. So that would be a, Now, hey, if Mike McMahon said, hey, we want Trekyards on board to help us do some episodes of, like, maybe a web episode for Lower Decks, I'd be like, ooh, we're signed on to write 12 web episodes for Lower Decks. That might be worth not doing fan films for. You and me get to helm a custom show. That might be, ooh. Because exclusivity doesn't mean you can't do a YouTube show, just can't do fan films. Like Tawny Newson, who's on the picture here, does an official Star Trek podcast. and actors appear on other things, so it's not unreasonable. I'm sure I could write 12 lower decks style. Wouldn't it be great though? They do lower decks. You have to write lower decks. Even less important people on the ship. Like your job is to write even. Your job is to write literally the 18-year-olds that don't know anything. But hey, would be fun. But I mean, you can see my version of Star Trek on my short treks. Or on my Trek shorts. Not short treks. I got some fun ideas, and I've got some fun little bits of canon that I'm trying to fit together, because you know me, I like to try and fix things if I can.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm excited. We've already talked about your Trek shorts quite a bit, so I'm excited to see some more stuff.
And I'm very happy to see you might have some progress on your Trek short department to finally get you filmed.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I think rebooting Star Trek makes sense to me. This is what JJ did with films, says BJ. Yes, you can take it as its own thing,
But he didn't reboot it. He created an alternate universe and kept it connected to the same universe. He actually didn't reboot it. If he had, it would have been better. He didn't. He ruined Prime Spock, destroyed Romulus, ruined the idea of... no, he didn't. He actually didn't. He was trying to be clever and ended up being stupid because he doesn't understand that stuff. Neither does Kurtzman or Orsi. If it was if it started with the scene with Kirk on the motorbike, and it was just if it was just a time traveling guy from the future, didn't really need Spock. Shouldn't have had it. I think that ruined it in the end. 09.
I agree. It totally ruined Spock's character, unfortunately. But
because Spock has saved saved Earth for less. Saving every single one of his people for all of time is more important than saving Earth at that one point. So it ruined the Spock character.
Are you guys on Twitch? No. We do have there is a Trekyards Twitch account. We've never used it, so.
Yeah, we like to focus on the content we focus on. We love, yeah. Well, I love Stuart's live streams. His live streams, you guys on the YouTube channel on Trekyards, which actually does drunk. Well, not really. They never get you drunk, really, do they? But drinking Q&As and those things are always fun. Highly recommended.
I think I got drunk once or twice. Some of the trivia nights are pretty good that way, but oh yeah. 113 likes.
Yes.
I was going to say 7 more likes, get to 120 would be great, and another $50 is what we need right now.
Yes, we absolutely do.
So,
but we can briefly talk about the although I'll briefly, Wingsaber says, so what? Fan films has a small audience. Real Trek is canon. If you're offered a job, take it. You're doing what's so many dream of. Well, yes and no.
Problem is, he would be micromanaged by everybody, and his good ideas, wouldn't get through.
Put it this way, I would not be proud to have worked on Discovery Season 1 and have contributed to those stories. Sorry. And Doug said no to work on Star Trek at a certain point. Certainly Mike and Lisa could have got fired, etc. So, I would not want to work on bad Trek, have that be my legacy. Sorry. I'm not going to be responsible for ruining things. I would rather work on niche small things that respect it rather than big things that hurt it. Sorry. I shouldn't be apologising for that. Right, now, why don't we talk while we're waiting for the extra $50 if we can get it, about when our Drunk Live can be, because that is also an audience participation thing, because if you guys can make the time, it's more worth our time. So I am, like I said, I'm getting my COVID jab, which is weird to say because I'm so young, but COVID jab on Friday at 4 p.m. Hey. Side effects or whatnot, who knows? I might be garbage by Saturday, who knows? But I'm available on the Thursday, on the Saturday or the Sunday. So what day would you guys be most available? Or really, I should Stuart, what days are you most available?
I can be available. I can be available tomorrow, which is Thursday, or Saturday or Sunday probably. So yeah, anytime on the weekend. Saturday, if you're getting your shot on Friday, Saturday might not be good because, in my experience, for mine, the next day in the afternoon I needed to lay down for a while, so it's just no energy. So, but yeah. So guys, and we do it earlier in the day too, like for my birthday one that we did live during the week. I believe we started at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 or 2. So it gets a little bit different time zone-y, because a lot of times when I do stuff live later, it's way too late or early for you guys in the UK. So let us know what you think would work best, if you want it to be on the weekend, if it's a weekday that works better. And regardless, the drunk one will be starting earlier in the day, probably 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. And goes longer too. They usually go about at least 4 or 5 hours. So let us know, guys. We'd like to know. T. Reed True says, I'm off tomorrow. I mean, that's a vote for Thursday, so.
That is, because obviously we want you to jump in, celebrate my birthday, take a look at the presents I got. Maybe, hey, I love doing the super chat costume changes. Maybe I'll have a costume change for my formal uniform. I mean, you guys know that we don't have the power in those lives. You do. In a good way. And the bladder destroying way. Because I did just get another full bottle of vodka. So that is now in the bank. Ready to go. Pain or victory is awaiting me with you guys.
Matthew DeVita says, concerned about Legacy to get paid $50K an episode, I'll take the money. I would. I think Samuel will agree with me here that $50K an episode would be fantastic, but to have that be in your legacy of basically ruined Trek, because honestly, season 1 of Discovery, not the greatest thing. So, is money that important to you, Samuel? That you would just take the money and do what they say?
I mean, it depends how much money. I mean, there is obviously there is a line. I mean, if I was getting paid $5 million an episode, and to help do 26 episodes of crap I hated, oh wait, I just made 120 million. After my contract runs out, I'll make a $10 million fan film. You know what I mean? Like that, or I'll build myself the full TNG sets and say, Stuart, do you want to come play TNG? There are grander things you could do with that that are really incredible. 50K. I mean, like I said, I would not want to have worked. I feel happy to have not even been invited to work on Discovery season 1. I would be sad to have worked on that season. So Blair.
Yeah. And Madness 201 says, but other people like John Hughes who've done several legit Trek things is now kind of lumped into disco, and this shit it is. Yep. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, that's true. Mm-hmm. And Wingsaber says, yeah, but you'll be in the room. Even micromanage means you'll have an actual say. Even 10% is better than is still 10% better. Is it though? I disagree. It's just, yeah.
I mean, in Picard, if you got to say that you wrote the "Shields up" Riker line, and that's the only thing you wrote for the episode, it's like, okay, great, but if you don't control anything involved in the storyline, I mean, if you're happy with 10% quality that you can contribute and the money, that's fine. I'm not going to judge you for that. That's obviously something, it is just a day job. But that's not enough for me. And in regards to John Eves, yeah, it is sad when you look at, not his work, but his direction has led to him apparently just having lower and lower quality Star Trek work as time has gone on. He's well past his peak, and that's not because of his personal quality. His work's always good. It's just good in the wrong directions, etc., etc. He's done some of his worst work in the last few years, and to the point where I don't want him on Strange New Worlds. I don't want him on, unfortunately, these shows because he's too broken. He's done too many of these iterations. He now can't think. Look at the Emmett Till. It just looks like a TNG Discovery. I don't want that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like that. He can't think out that box now because in JJ they forced him to think outside the Trek box for so many years that you go outside your own box. And Discovery was good because you able to keep on that. I just don't want him on the new iterations. Sorry.
Yeah.
Honestly, bring back Rick Sternbach design the new hero ship of one of the new shows, and you're going to get a very good feeling Prime ship with all the correct details. He wasn't broken down by the new shows. Yes, it might not be as creatively full as you want, but it'll feel absolutely appropriate.
Yeah. Sergeant Montgomery, XCV 330 video drop. Someday. The ring ship will be on its way. Season 1 was like being paid $5 million to shovel shit. I mean, $5 million to shovel shit for a week or a couple months.
There's always a line. There's always going to be a line because you've got to be realistic. But then you got to think, ego terms, being paid $5 million for a terrible job. Either no one else is getting paid good money, or they just want to show that they can break you. But who wouldn't take $5 million to be broken? It's like, at some point we'll all be a bitch. The number's got to be high.
Everybody has a price. Yeah.
Everybody has a price. But if like I said, I mean, how much of the TNG sets could I build for $5 million with a dedicated crew of very passionate Trek fans in the UK? Probably most. The bridge, happily. That's pretty cool. Or design. Stuart, can I build the Horizon Bridge for $5 million in the UK? Yes, I could. or the Horizon crew quarters and then sleep in my own star. I mean, how cool would that be? To buy the house next door, convert it into the crew quarters of your own bloody starship, and walk between one house with your real ship. How cool would that be? Excessive, but it would be cool.
Yeah. Damn.
Oh, TV.
Yeah, I don't know. I would love to be involved in New Trek in some way. Like, I think we know our stuff and we've got enough on record as showing such, but
we are somewhat inflexible, which is a problem. But that's because we respect Canon. I don't think Rogue One, their inflexibility to visual canon was a deficit. That was one of their selling points.
That was one of the best things about that. Yeah, absolutely. Putting on a pair of old comfy shoes. One more like to get to 120 would be great, guys. We still need that $50 if possible. Plus the last super chat slot, which Eugene currently has.
I mean, if we can get like a $5 like super chat spike, we'll be happy. That's nice little, and we'll be okay with us. And Pardeep says Trek fans really need to protest the writing quality of the Trek, and they will change. That's what we did, and they got better each year. We did that. That's what we've been doing. We've been giving them, as we've said several times, cast members from Discovery like our reviews because they're fair. A cast member of Discovery will know if a script writing is bad too, but they're being paid to do the script. This isn't a secret, you can only be biased to a certain extent. That's why a lot of the time these actors remember the behind-the-scenes time with their fellow cast members, especially the bridge crew of Discovery who have no lines to speak of. They're remembering the hanging out with their friends on Discovery, not the 3 lines per episode with no characterization except those 2 moments. They're not enjoying their job because it's a job. They're enjoying it because they're being paid money to work on a set and get an IMDb credit and see with friends and a living wage. It's great. Good for them,
Yeah.
You can't say Bryce is showing his best acting chops.
Yeah. Raj, yes, we talked about that already, that they're already recording season 3.
Brought this to come in, yeah.
Yeah. This kind of went off on a production thing. This could have been a whole live about the production of Star Trek talk, but yeah.
Well, it's good, and obviously, animated is different because they can produce stuff in their houses, and I would be shocked if they weren't given another season order, because I would be beyond shocked if season 2 hadn't done drastically higher numbers than season 1, because now the whole bloody world got to see it, and the Blu-rays. I wouldn't be shocked if they almost double, because yes, some people hate lower decks, but the overriding vibe is positive, whereas the other two, Picard and Discovery, it is polarized. There's very little middle. I mean, it's still like middle high and middle low. There's very little like it's fine. Whereas lower decks, it's I rarely hear anyone that hates it. It's
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people that hate it haven't seen it. They saw the first episode and had to turn off halfway through. I've heard that a few times. It's like, whatever. It's
also if you hate comedies or hate animated. I mean, there's certain hate for not because of the show itself, because you don't like that formula.
But I can look past that with good stories and
Well, you say that, but I didn't watch, Star Wars Rebellion, whatever that one was, with the fight.
Rebels.
No.
Oh no.
Resistance.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Because the art
No,
style and the trailer.
yes, Resistance. Yeah.
So am I not being petty? I enjoy Star Wars. I didn't watch it because of A, B, and C. Yes. But also I have better things to do in my life. So if you don't like animated, you just won't watch Lower Decks. And that's nothing against you as a person. But it's just you can't review the show if you haven't seen it. That's a fact. Or at least you can't review it with any worthwhile opinion.
Yeah.
And obviously an opinion is more worthwhile the more experience you have. You know, someone who's been to film school has a slightly more valid opinion than someone who is just off the street. Or someone who's watched Star Trek for 50 years has better, you know, those TOS fanboys from literally the 60s have a better judgment case to review new Trek than Trek fans have already seen the J.J. Abrams films, because they have literally been the entire journey. They've paid for all the VHSs, laser discs, DVDs, Blu-rays, cinemas. A JJ fan may have only had their parents to buy them access to the JJ films, whereas a TOS fan has paid to see every film, maybe TOS 5 times. And you know, these people have more reason. If there is a value judgment, you know, one fan is not equal to another fan. Sorry, an opinion is valid to another opinion, but not how much weight it should hold. You know.
Yeah.
And a new fan is not going to put in the same money to the Treks as an old fan will. Of course they're not going to.
Yeah. Gavin says Resistance was shit, so there you go. Didn't miss anything, apparently.
There you go.
Opinions are like doorknobs. Everyone gets a turn. Anyway, yeah. I don't know if you guys want to start a last super chat slot war or not.
Well, and also, we didn't work out when the Drunk Live. You guys need to tell us.
Know. If it'll be tomorrow afternoon or on the weekend sometime in the afternoon, which would work better for you guys. We got one that said he's off tomorrow, so that's great. But yeah, let us know, because we'd like to do it at a good time that get a lot of viewers and have some fun. So
yeah, I'm certainly able to do Saturday, although possibly Sunday's a smarter idea for me. But if you guys can only make it Saturday, or only can make it Sunday, or only can make it, then that is up to you guys.
I would say Sunday would be better, but
yes.
T. Reed True's yelling tomorrow because he's the one that's off tomorrow. I just got YouTube alert live now, so wow. Oh, yeah, thanks YouTube. YouTube's really bad for that.
So guys, Drunk Live. Thursday, Saturday or Sunday?
Friday's just off the table for everybody because there's shit going on.
Well, yeah, COVID jab.
Yeah.
When is
it's on Friday, T-Reed. That's when he's getting it.
Oh, happy birthday to your son. June, best month. Yeah.
Weekend would be better, said Madness.
And T-Reed says, when is your short, Samuel? When is your shot? What?
Where's your shot?
Oh, the COVID shot.
Friday.
Friday, yes.
Yeah. I already answered him. Sergeant Montgomery, $5. Trekyards, the consulting team to all things Star Trek, has a nice ring to that. Yes. Get a big building, Trekyards on the top, like Chrono Works.
Get our own offices. Yeah. For 6 months in a year, we fly into LA and work in a CBS office, and you have to stare at me from behind a desk. We have to be behind desks. We can't be in the same part of the room because we have to have that separation. And as monitors, you get a monitor and a window that actually is real us, and so we get to have digital us and real us, and so yeah, we never get to film in the same place because it always has to be across boxes, even though in the same room. So we've got really good microphones because they've got to not capture you yelling the other side of the room. It'll be very, very good.
Uh-huh. Gavin Vale Smith says it's a long weekend in Australia, so Sunday works for him.
But I think we're both starting to single on Sunday being a good day.
I think Sunday's a good day. Gives us time to get ready for it, too. Sergeant Montgomery, $2. Saturday, Snipe, so that's a vote for Saturday.
That is a vote for Saturday.
Dan23 says tomorrow.
I mean, to be fair, though, I will know if I feel garbage on Saturday as well.
Yeah.
That will also be a thing or not a thing.
See, that's the thing. If we schedule it for Saturday, then you feel like crap. You don't want to be here, trust me. So.
Listen, Jericho, no, sir. Don't be the outlier. Don't be the difficult one. Okay,
You
so
can
just
watch the
say
replay
Friday.
on Monday. Eh? How's that?
All 6 hours.
T. Read True Sunday will work.
But I'm excited. Yeah, I talk about birthday stuff. And actually, although I can't get too drunk, because I'm doing a shoot on Monday with Nim.
Oh shit.
That's okay. I'll just have lots of food and lots of drink. Like, good drink.
Yeah, order your food this time before it gets
Hey,
too-
hey. I did. They don't fucked up. But yeah, which I'm excited for. You know, Monday shoot with Nim. It's gonna be good. Some cool stuff. We're gonna put her in a different uniform finally and shoot that. So that's gonna be good. Whole different vibe. I'm excited for that. Unless it doesn't fit her. It's like crap. Gotta replan that goddamn whole thing. So hopefully not.
Gavinville Smith says COVID jabs, you don't feel sick after. That's fiction. I felt fine. You did. I didn't. The next day I was like down for the afternoon. I felt like I had the flu. I just needed to lay down for like 4 hours and then I was fine again. It just kind of hit me. And other people have had the same thing. So
I've heard from lots of people who have had it, and both my parents had problems. So no, not fiction. Just super variable depending on the people.
Exactly.
That's it. You know.
I think you should do Monkito Mondays. Oh, good God. Theoretically, we could do it Monday.
I would not be okay doing it Monday.
Oh, that's right. You're filming. God damn it. That's right.
Yeah, it would be late in the evening, and I would be tired, so I would not like to. I did do that once with Nim here, and I did come and film with you, live stream, and I had to caffeinate the hell because I was up at like 9.
Yeah.
I did well though, considering.
So far, the general consensus is Sunday. I think we're going to go with Sunday.
Nice.
Dan23 says Sunday there are other live videos. So, prioritize. Do you want to be with Trekyards or not?
Well, to be fair, if it's that many hours, you can pop in, pop back, pop in, pop back.
Yeah.
But, okay, sounds good. Sounds exciting. We can have some fun Trekyards time and a fun Trekyards time and a fun Trekyards place! But, Stuart, $6 more. Come on. We need to round up to at least that number. So, $6 more.
Yeah. And Sergeant Montgomery now has the last super chat slot because he sniped that. That Saturday is a snipe. So, if anybody's interested, $6 will be a good number. I mean, not the one we wanted, but it'll be.
But, if you're not about drunk ones for a second, are we doing lives Thursday, Friday? Are you doing any bonus lives? What's your schedule looking like? What are we thinking? Because I'm, therefore, if not getting drunk, I'm available Thursday and Friday for non-drunk lives.
Well, Thursday we'll do something tomorrow for sure. Friday we can, I guess, but I'm also doing my Trek trivia Friday night. So I missed last week because I was helping a buddy move a pinball machine and filming a captain's log for it. So that'll be released on Friday. It's a long captain's log, but if you're interested in pinball at all, it'll be interesting to see. So, and then the Friday after, the 18th, I'm actually going to be on a podcast. What the hell's the podcast? I can't remember now. I'll let you guys know closer to the date. So there won't be Trekkie trivia on the 18th on the Friday. So.
Dum. Although briefly before we do the super chats, I just remembered. We will be having. I need to work out what day. The Dreadnought Dominion team join us for a live talk about their Indiegogo and their project Dreadnought Dominion, which they've been doing for a long time now. They're waiting for my Indiegogo to finish, and then the day after mine finished, I had to do new graphics for them because their Indiegogo wasn't quite up to scratch, so I helped. That's fine. And so they're already at 32% of their goal, with 22 days left. Only a $5,000 goal, and they're going to do a lot with it, which is great. They're a good set of guys with some good ideals, and I'm actually doing literally right after this. I'm helping to design their runabout. They have a basic idea that Jeffrey's had, or it's a variation. I'm helping to modernize that into a hero asset. So they're doing their very first, first cool bonus thing there. And just to, I just swapped on the version of Lightwave, and boy, I have some fun time. One of my other Lightwave assemblies is actually I built some shots of the USS Defiant fighting some Dominion bug ships on other Lightwave renderers, which is not something I've ever done before. and so I'm building some DS9 CG. I'm literally now watching Defiant doing a cool maneuver, and then firing pulse cannons at a bug ship which explodes as it passes by. So that's what I was doing today as well. You know,
Wow.
normal life. I've never done this sort of shot before, so I'm kind of
Nice. Cool. Matt Boardman, $6 with us. Madness 201, $6. There. Happy birthday, Sam.
Thank you.
Matt
Ooh,
Boardman,
early.
$2. Tiny snipe.
Oh my
It still
goodness.
counts as a snipe. Todd Chamberlain, though, $6. Buy yourself a birthday drink. And then Paul Graham.
Oh my
shows
god.
up. Hey, Paul, how's it going? With $20 Canadian. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Commander.
Thank you so much.
KeplerShipyards.com needs a web dev for a new amazing project.
Oh.
So KeplerShipyards.com, go check it out, guys. And if you can help the team, they're doing some cool stuff. I know that for a fact. So go check it out and help out if you can. Raj says, Stuart, will you be viewing the solar eclipse tomorrow? I mean, sure. I'd heard about it, but I didn't really think about it. So maybe.
And Matthew DeFried has asked if I have Trek actors on a live. Obviously, it's hard to do that because our lives are real late, and during the day we'll be filming. But if I do an overnight shoot, which is not I'm planning to do because we're going to pay for hotels, which is, you know, I've got budget for it now, but it does cost extra money. I would definitely bring Nim on to do I mean, we'll be damn tired, obviously, but if we did an overnight, she'd be sitting next to me and we do a live Q&A, which I think would be really good, and she'd be in uniform. I can have a fake speaking character. Here is Captain... Wait, why are you Captain now? Here is Lieutenant Keeley. See if she can improv her way into... And, like, she doesn't know anything about Star Trek, so... Those answers will be real wrong.
She can be reporting to Captain Foley, and I'll be asking her some, questions. About Trek, of course. What's with the sad face?
Nothing. But Stuart, I'm happy to report we blew through that real goal as that noise blew apart my eardrums. So join us tomorrow, and I'll go back to. I'll go from a Trek Girls Live with the wonderful Stuart Foley to designing a TOS runabout to doing some Defiant CG to work on David Bessig's new render, and also talking to a guy that is acting as whole thing. What are you doing, Stuart?
When, tomorrow?
No, right now after this.
Going and helping with some supper, and then I don't know, not much.
Good stuff.
Sergeant Montgomery, $5. Cerritos phaser banks.
You have to do more with Cerritos at some point.
Sean, $5. It's another Enterprise snipe. So you guys are really, really hitting it tonight. So thank you. That just out. You have no idea.
Like at the end of my Indiegogo, put just roared in. You guys have roared in to bring us up to a wonderful episode. Thank you so much, guys. But you'll see us tomorrow.
Yes, you will. With something.
Yes.
Till then, he's Commander Cocking.
He's Gunnar Foley.
And we will see you later.
Yeah. Bye, guys.